Hiya, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking all about how to choose which social media channel that your business should be on and how to start formulating that social media strategy with your primary platform, your secondary platform, and your other marketing efforts that should absolutely be tying into your social media. So let's head over to the computer and walk you through it. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to reflect on the steps that we took to get here. So if you need to refer back to the social media strategy under 20-minute video or even the goal setting or target audience outlining videos that have been posted on my channel, pause here, go back and watch those and put those together because you're definitely going to need those for the next steps. And we're also going to need to do a little reflecting on our own capacity here. So with the goals, what are we hoping to achieve? Is it engagement? Is it outreach? Is it conversion? What is it that you want to achieve with your social media? And make sure that you are, of course, getting very specific with it so that we can measure, achieve, figure out if it's relevant, and let it all be time bound as well. Then the audience, right? Where are they hanging out online? Go back into your target audience personas, look at where they're spending their time online and in real life. You also want to take a look at things like where they're getting their information from. Are they a blog person? Are they more of a social media person? What does that look like in the sense of content consumption, whether it be news or entertainment? And then when it comes to your capacity, right? Of course, we're talking about how much time and energy and potentially financials you have to throw at the situation, but we're also talking about what skill sets do you have to bring to the table. Understanding these strengths and weaknesses inside of you and your business can help you see which parts of things you might need to outsource and what parts you can absolutely be able to maintain and it lights you up or it excites you and you love doing it. And so again, just trying to find something that you will be consistent with, because the longer I have been in social media, the more I have found that it's really not about fancy tech or fancy transitions or music at the right time. It's about bringing a lot of value to your audience and making sure that they understand that you're there to help them. You are the expert or authority in your industry more than a lot of people do on the subject. And so by bringing that forth and just bringing value, just like I'm doing right now, just walking you through a concept and allowing your audience to be able to absorb that value and go off and see some actionable wins with that value that you've given them is so important. So again, just checking in with that capacity and seeing what you have as strengths, what your team has as strengths, and what weaknesses are present so that you can be able to outsource and know going into it with a good head on your shoulders. So before we start really talking about which social media platform, what formats, all these things, I do want to just bring something up here really quick. When you are being on social media, either as a business, as a brand, as an influencer, you want to understand if you're building just an audience or a community. So an audience is a group of people that are interacting with a brand, a business, an influencer, and those interactions are only going one way, meaning between the main person and the audience, right? A community is a group of people that is not only interacting with the brand, the business, or the influencer, but they're interacting with each other, right? So I have two examples that I always love to really give. I'll give the first one. The first one's the Jeep community, right? The Jeep community loves Jeep as a brand. They wear Jeep shirts. They get Jeep hats. They get Jeep stickers. They love Jeep, but they also love each other. They honk at each other, they leave rubber ducks on each other's car, and they truly are a community of people who love the brand and love each other, right? So that's a really great example of a community that I love to give. The second example that I always love to give is Swifties. Swifties love Taylor Swift. They are diehards for her. And they also love each other as well. They will support each other. They will fundraise with each other. They will buy from each other's businesses, all because they like the same person. These kinds of cult followings are really just incredibly well marketed communities, right? And so again, we just want to which one is it that you're trying to put in place? Are you just trying to put in an audience, where you're just giving information to people and it's really more of like one-to-many relationship? Or are you trying to build a community that is supporting you and each other along the road? Now, I bring this up because when we get to organic engagement strategy, which is steps in the social media strategy, you want to be able to understand which one you're building, because the organic engagement activities to be building either one of these are different. So again, just start thinking about now what you want to do, which one do you want to build. An audience is easier to build because, again, you're not so concerned about being there in person all the time and giving away a lot of your time to either the social media, to your community, to your Discord channel, whatever that looks like for you, right? You are gathering and convening and sharing information with them. So again, just kind of having that in mind. A lot of times people will choose their social media platforms based off of what they're comfortable on or which platform they know the best. But in reality, we should be looking at a couple of different things. Obviously, your goals and what you want to achieve, because that will be determined by which platform has those kinds of capabilities in them, where your ideal client is spending time, and again, your capacity, what you have time to be able to do. If you're not a videographer and you guys don't have the financials to be able to outsource to a videographer, then being on something like YouTube or even TikTok that requires some editing and finessing could be something that you might not want to tap into right away. I always recommend checking out all of the platform's functions and formats before making an informed decision on which platform you're going to be showing up on. Again, this plays into the capacity that you have available and just helps you understand the platforms a little bit more in depth. I've put together some charts here for you guys to be able to see the different formats and functions, and I'm just going to walk you guys through them super quickly. So on TikTok, you have the formats of video, stories, photos, carousels, live videos, and there is even more than that, but this is just to give you an idea of the diversity of formats that are available on that platform. Instagram has one of the most available out there: posts, photos, videos, graphics, stories, carousels, lives, reels, highlights. There's more than even that. LinkedIn has posts as well, which can be photos, videos, or graphics. There's lives, articles, audio events, groups. Pinterest has pins. Now you can either do these as photos or videos, graphics, really anything that you'd like to do. Facebook has posts, which can be photos, videos, or graphics as well. They also have the ability to do stories. They have groups as well. These can be public or private. And then there is the ability to go live or have reels on Facebook as well, because it is a meta product, so it is attached to Instagram. YouTube, you can have long form videos on there or short form videos. The short form videos are called shorts and get uploaded in the same spot, but just in a different category. And on Twitter, we have text, photos, video, graphics, all of those kinds of things on there. Now, these are just the formats that are available on the platforms. Now, I want to talk really quick about the functions of each platform, because TikTok, the algorithm is really geared towards discoverability. When you open up the TikTok app, you are immediately taken to your For You page, which shows you content of new creators and accounts on the app. Meaning you're not opening up to a news feed or something that you are already subscribing to. This is serving you up content based on your interests, your watched content, your interacted with content, and a lot of things go into that. So TikTok is more of a discoverability platform. Instagram has a lot of different algorithms inside of the platform itself. So this is why I've broken down some of the different pieces of Instagram that have different functions inside of them. So stories are really great for connecting and converting. There are engagement stickers. There are so many ways to be able to make it feel like an intimate conversation. And again, only lasting 24 hours can really make it feel like you got access to something that no one else is going to after today. The Reels matches the TikTok algorithm, so the reach and awareness and discoverability is very active in that. Pin posts and highlights are so great for being able to have value-based content on there, because it can really help your audience be able to binge on content that you have curated and put together in a certain way to showcase it to them. LinkedIn is so great for engagement and lead generation, and it really does have a journalistic kind of style to it, and everything on there is very supportive and celebratory and professionalism based. Pinterest is so great for SEO and conversion. There are so many ways to be able to optimize and keyword infuse your posts to be able to really show up in search. One of the most utilized parts of Facebook is no doubt the groups and the presence that you can have on there. There are so many groups on there for just interests and hobbies and specific keywords in small business owners, and it really does have the most engagement on the platform. YouTube is attached to Google, there's so many great benefits to be able to get your posts seen very well on the Google searches, and even Twitter, aka X, is so great for awareness and connection. Okay, now we understand the platform's functions and formats just a little bit better. Let's talk about how to start formulating this social media strategy. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pick our primary platform. This is what we are creating content for. Think YouTube, think TikTok, think Facebook, think a primary big platform that you are creating for. Then our secondary platform, we want it to be something that we're repurposing to. So something we can take that primary content, tweak it just a little bit, or even be able to take it just as is and repurpose it straight over. By having just a primary and secondary, you're able to just focus on showing up on two platforms that your ideal client is showing up on. So again, we're checking in with those personas, we're checking in with those goals, and we're checking in with our capabilities before we're picking our primary and secondary piece. So a great example that I love to use is having YouTube as your primary and TikTok as your secondary. That way you can be creating videos for your YouTube channel and repurposing that content to your TikTok, however that can look for you. If you have a talking head YouTube channel where it's just you being filmed, you can crop the video and be able to post it on YouTube. If you have something like this where you're presenting, you can take your audio from it and be able to put it over B-roll footage that matches vertical. The options are really endless for repurposing to that secondary. So again, we want to make sure that we're working smarter and not harder. And so we've got that primary and repurposing into that secondary. Now, we're not done yet. The other thing we need to be outlining is what other marketing efforts are you going to be putting in place? Are you blogging? Are you emailing? Are you doing in-person networking? Are you doing any sort of webinars or mailers or anything of that nature? Can be really helpful to outline here, as we want to make sure that the value we're giving across our marketing plan is the same. That's how we start to build the social media strategy. Next week, we are going to be learning how to audit the current social media platforms that you have in place and be able to keep the steps of the strategy going just a little bit more in depth. Thank you for being here with me this week. I am so excited to see you next week. Bye.